congratulations. Absolutely adore this film. Ruth is such a remarkable human being and kept fighting despite the odds constantly being against her. Where do you think she finds her strength time and time again?
Well, that's something I thought about so much when I was playing the part, because, as you say, continually she just had doors slammed in her face. And she was trying to work in a time that didn't want her there. You know, she wanted to be a lawyer and she wasn't accepted. They didn't want women lawyers at that time. And she was pushing against a lot of sexism. And I think her determination and her strength ultimately came from her mother. Her mother made a huge impression on her. She really focused on her education. That was really important to Ruth growing up. Her mother died when she was a teenager, and I think that death was such a huge thing in her life, because I think she always felt like she wanted to make her mother proud, actually, and that's where a lot of her drive came from.
And how much did you get to learn about law and that legal world, and what for you was perhaps the most interesting or surprising?
It was fascinating. It's sort of one of those things when you're growing up and, you know, you want to be an actor and you think about playing a lawyer. It's kind of a bit of a dream to be standing in a courtroom, getting to pretend to seem as though you know what you're talking about. And it was, what I loved about the script was that it was about the profession, but it was also had such humour in it. It was about this family life. The screenplay was written by Ruth's nephew, Daniel STIEPLEMAN. So it was a really intimate access and an intimate portrayal of their family life and the struggles they went through for Ruth to achieve what she did.
Yeah, I loved the family scenes and the family dynamic. It was so refreshing to see on screen. And I thought there were so many great messages. And I was wondering for you, what is the most important takeaway for audiences?
I feel the takeaway is that look at what men and women can achieve when they work together, and that ultimately we are stronger when we're unified.
Absolutely. I think we're all going to want to marry Armie Hammer as Marty in this film. What is one of your fondest moments of sharing scenes with him?
Well, actually, as did Ruth Bader Ginsberg, because when we first met her, we were nervously waiting outside to go into her office, sort of clammy hands and short of breath. And then we went in and she just looked up and she couldn't take her eyes off Armie. And I knew in that moment that she was definitely a human being. So she too was a huge fan. But he's very easygoing. He's very relaxed, but also incredibly hardworking. He wouldn't like me saying this, but incredibly devoted to what he does, and has such belief in it, but brings a level of wit and enjoyment, so it's not kind of pulling teeth every time you go to work.
And from your time spent with Ruth and this character, I was wondering if there'd be a key piece of wisdom that you will take away from you to incorporate in everyday life.
Oh, I think about her often. I do think, well, if she can get through, you know, she got through some really difficult situations and she kept pushing. And even now she keeps pushing. You know, there are all these conspiracy theories saying that she's actually dead when she is very much alive and well. And I just thought, what a woman that she manages to take that on the chin and she just keeps going and she doesn't let the negativity get her down.
And how would you define the importance of this film right now and how it speaks to the Time's Up and Me Too movements?
Well, Ruth Bader Ginsberg was very much laid the foundations for gender equality in the legal system. So she's absolutely a pioneer, and we stand on her shoulders. And it's, as ever, it's important to continue that work. It's important that we continue to fight for equal pay, and most importantly that we have a feeling of equality in the workplace, and that people don't feel like they're going to be abused or bullied when they go to work. And I think that's what's been brilliant about the Me Too movement, is to let's hopefully move on from that and we can create a more healthy working environment in the film industry.
And Mimi Leder is also a powerhouse woman, a perfect fit for this film. What do you like about her approach to directing?
Oh, she brings such equilibrium and experience. She's been in the industry for years. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows the story she wants to tell, but she doesn't bring ego. That's the best thing about her. There's no ego that comes into it. She's collaborative. She just wants to make the story the best it can be.
And I loved Ruth's look. She's so stylish and powerful. What were the key physical aspects for you getting into that character?
Well, her look's such an important part of her identity. She is someone who has used clothes in a really interesting way, and even now she has these extraordinary collars that she wears over her cloak, and it's her way of just showing her identity is that she is not going to get lost, that she can be herself, and in many situations she's been judged for being who she is, but it's her little bit of rebellion, and it's how she's functioned throughout her entire career as she pushes back against the status quo, but does it in such a effortless, humorous and delightful way.
Felicity Jones, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!